Hi, I'm Darrel Rowland, the Public Affairs Editor of the Dispatch. With me is Marty Schladen. He's the new kid on the block for us. Came up from the El Paso newspaper, working in Austin, Texas, as the State House Bureau there. And we decided to introduce him to Ohio by having him dive into business tax breaks. So the topic of current discussion as the two-year budget goes on in Ohio, so it affects taxes that you pay and taxes that some others don't pay. One of the questions we thought, the legislature started these taxes in 2013, these tax reductions, I should say, for businesses. And we thought, a lot of the legislators have businesses too. So how many of them are getting tax breaks? So we said, all right, Marty, you're the new guy. Check this out. So what'd you find?
Found out that almost half of the lawmakers are potentially taking these tax breaks. Their financial disclosures don't require them to say whether they are, but there are some strong hints.
Okay. Now, we should probably talk about what these tax breaks are. And it's a little complicated because one round came in 2013 with the state budget that was approved that year. The next round came in 2015 with that state budget. And again, we're going through the state budget again, so these are up for reconsideration. So, Marty, what are the tax breaks that we're talking about here?
This is on what they call pass-through business income. It's from entities like sole proprietorships, LLCs, S-corps. What it means is that these are, in the federal sense, not being taxed, and the money is being passed through to be taxed on income. In terms of state taxes, in its full form, no state income tax is paid on the first $250,000 of income, and it's taxed at 3% after that instead of the 5% at which it was taxed previously.
So you look through the state financial disclosure statements, which are legally required of every legislature. You looked at the income or the revenue that each one was making and identified those who may be getting this break. How many are actually getting it?
Actually getting it, 53 it appears. We did a questionnaire and the majority of lawmakers declined to respond. So we can't say for sure except for the ones who told us they were.
Okay. But the majority of that 53 would not respond to
yes.
our questionnaire. Yeah. So they're not going to tell the public for getting this tax break that they themselves have voted in recent years.
That's correct. And when we asked a few whether they were profiting or whether they passed it to profit personally, it wasn't exactly greeted as a question that was appropriate.
Okay. Now, talk to me about this tax cut. Again, you have almost 50% of the legislatures getting it. What about the general public? How many roughly take that? How many Ohioans?
In 2015, the number was about 14%. So not very many.
So about half our legislatures getting this tax break, at least potentially. 14% of Ohioans overall are getting it.
That's correct.
So, okay. The other, Jim Siegel, who's not with us today, did another aspect of this tax break that may be coming up for reconsideration this time around. This was sold in 2013 and 2015, basically one thing, to bring jobs to Ohio and to make the economy better. Arguably, it's not done that. There's no real tangible benefits that anyone can point to, like here in black and white, we did the tax cuts, so here are the jobs. So they're saying, and it amounts to a pretty healthy level, $1.1 billion every year is the total tax break. So businesses keep that money instead of paying it to the state, and now the state's looking for money to pay for schools, which many districts are going to be cut. Higher education is being flat funded. Medicaid, the health care for poor people is probably not going to get near the increase that they say they need. So it does have ramifications. So the Ohio Senate has the budget right now. They'll have an amended budget bill coming up this week. They've got to the month to work this out with the House and the conference committee, get Governor Casey to sign it. We'll see if this comes up in time in these next 2-3 weeks, whether this is reconsidered or whether for a third budget in a row, these tax breaks that some say are not doing any Ohioans any good, but instead are, taking revenue from the state coffers that could be used for people, whether they'll just simply continue.